The BigAl Podcast with your host, Al Bishop, unfiltered and uncut.
It's cold out here, yeah. It's a case of I've still got to push through. I've got to push as hard as what I was doing when I was in Johannesburg, even though the altitude isn't going to be a factor here. But I'm looking at a return soon. There's something in the pipeline. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to share it yet, but we'll see.
Okay, cool, man. That's very good, man. We'll crack on into that. I just wanted to check with you. How was your festive season go, man? How was everything, Christmas and the New Year and so on?
Oh, it was brilliant. I actually had the Christmas this time. Normally I don't. It's I usually I train really hard and I keep my strict diet and everything like that. But this time round, I still trained, but I ate what I wanted this time. But I haven't really got much to lose, so it's one of those things where I'm in and around 90 kilos. But I could probably in the next couple of weeks cut down to 88. And then, a fight, pretty much. I've literally just signed a fight contract now for Golden Ticket Fight Promotions for in the UK for the 10th of Feb. And I'm going on to fight for the middleweight title on that show. So it'll be my first professional title that I'm going to be fighting for.
Okay, man, that's great. So what was the name of that promotion? I didn't catch that.
It's Golden Ticket Fight Promotions.
Okay, that's out there in the UK, man. You're going to be fighting for the title.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Oh, that's epic, man. Congrats on that. That's pretty cool.
Thank you very much.
And
it's on a big card as well.
Okay, that's good stuff, man. That's very exciting. And I suppose that also adds another notch for you for the EFC to get a strap around your waist, and then that gives you a bit of a bargaining grounds, yeah?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
That's true. I mean, obviously, with looking to return to the EFC, I just want to get off on the ground running, hit the ground running, start racking those wins up in the EFC, no matter who they give me, and so that the EFC and the African public can see who I truly am and why I was picked first in the EFC, the fighter series. You know what I mean? I never really got to show the true potential of what it is I can actually do and what the coaches saw before and during the time I was there. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So it was unfortunate that the altitude actually got to me and everything like that before I was able to sort of show my full potential, because I was given 2 weeks to sort of prepare for this for that sort of tournament. And normally it's about three months of hard training and then I'm ready to fight, sort of thing. When you're taking it on short notice and then you're flying out, you've got everything to sort out within 2 weeks. Plus, I was just coming off the back of an injury as well, so just getting myself back into shape and everything for this was, it was too much of a push for me, and I fell at the first hurdle, unfortunately. It's what it is, man.
Yeah, man, sure. It was actually in my next line of questioning was, you were obviously a guy who came into the fight house with quite a bit of hype, and I think there was obviously quite a bit of expectation. Like you said, you were the first pick for your team. And I was going to actually ask you, where do you feel that it all went wrong for you? I mean, and when I asked Mart Penner about it, he mentioned the altitude, that he felt that a lot of the guys had really suffered under the effects of altitude. So was your training hampered, your preparation in the tournament of the first fighter series? Was a lot, did altitude have a big part to play with that? It seemed like a lot of the guys were just lacking that extra third, fourth gear to kind of get going. Is that an accurate statement?
Yeah, I think it was. I think it all depended on when, as well, you found out about this tournament. I literally found out about it 2 weeks before I flew out. So I had, 2 and a bit weeks to sort of get prepared, and I was coming off the back of an injury. So I basically dislocated my knee in training about 3 weeks before I found out. So I was taking it easy with the training and everything like that, because I couldn't do much. I couldn't run. And when I found out about it, I really had to whip myself into shape within 2 weeks. And I tried my hardest, got everything ready. I was flying here, there, and everywhere, with my sponsors and everything like that, trying to get clothes, trying to get sponsorship to go fly out there with, and the training sort of took a back seat, and I thought, you know what, we're going to be out there for 6 weeks. I'm going to be training my ass off probably 3 to 4 times a day, so I'll probably catch up. And me thinking, I didn't really think that the altitude would be that much of an issue, and I'd never experienced it before. But obviously, me getting there within the first couple of days, sort of recovering from the dislocated knee, I did it again in the first week without anybody knowing about it. I dislocated my knee again because I was rolling with short on the first week of the house, and it dislocated again. The same knee, so I still have the same sort of problem. So me running and getting fit for this tournament, it was a bit of a push. I tried to cramp because I'm so crazy when it comes to this thing. Give me a fight. Yeah, I'll fight whoever. I'll fight anyone, anytime. You know what I mean? I'm not fussed because I faced that many opponents and I've beaten them all. I just thought, you know what, this isn't going to be any different. I'm used to facing challenges daily, day in, day out, and I thought, you know what, I'm fitter than these guys that I'm training with right now, but I still wasn't fully fit for myself. So, I tried my best. I was pushing hard. I was running every morning with Brendan as well. I was, training hard with the guys at night. But what I was finding is that at the end of every day, I was just so fatigued, and that was just down to the altitude. So it was a big factor. But I tried to not make it an excuse. And then when I was actually in sparring with the rest of the guys, and I was preparing for my own fight, and then I had to waterload because I use a process called waterloading to cut weight.
Sure.
So within me landing, I've had 7 days of training, where I've been training 4 times a day. So over the course of a week, it takes a toll on you. And then you've got to basically make weight within 2 days. So within 2 days, I said, yeah, come on, I'm ahead of weight because we basically could have picked Shaw to fight, or we could have picked Abdel to fight, right? Because I was fitter than they were at that point, and I weighed less as well. Yeah. I thought I might as well give it a go. I'm chomping at the bit to get a fight here. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I decided, look, this is how it's going to play out. I'm going to go first, and we're going to because Ibrahim was sort of in and out of the house because it was ill a little bit. He'd had more time to train for this because he knew about it, say, 2 months before. So he was doing all his running and everything like that. Plus, he didn't have any injuries. He'd come into it, and he was well underweight. He came in at 82, so he doesn't have to cut any weight or anything like that. Me, I did. I had to cut all that weight within sort of 9 days, and it took its toll on me. I was in and out of that sauna like 6 times, and it literally killed me. It was horrific. Having to cut 9 kilos in 2 days. But I managed it, got there. And then it wasn't until halfway through the second round of me fighting Ibra that it actually hit me, the altitude, and I couldn't breathe. I fought on until the end, and then I got stuck in that corner when I took him down. And, obviously with the shots to the back of the head and also the altitude, it just got too much for me, and I couldn't continue.
Yeah, sure, man.
So, you live and you learn. I was going to say, with the altitude and everything like that, it was definitely a factor.
Yeah, sure. I think it's quite an important factor, and I think a lot of guys neglect it when they get to, especially Johannesburg. The altitude is quite a big factor. I mean, we've seen local guys come up from the coastal areas like the Cape and Durban and so on, and feel the effects themselves. So it is definitely a factor to consider. There was something you mentioned in the just at the back there. There was we were chatting online via Twitter and so on, and you mentioned. You had a bit of a disgruntlement, but you chose not to air it, and it was also about some shots to the back of the head. Just talk us through your opinion on what you felt happened in your fight with Ibrahim there.
Well, basically, in the first round, I took a shot to the back of the head. He got warned about it verbally. In the second round, it happened again. Now, when you get hit in the back of the head, especially at altitude, it affects your brain in a way that, obviously, at the time, looking back on it now, I can really it discombobulates you and confuses you. It causes fatigue also, and a lot of throbbing to the back of the head. mean, hence why it's illegal, because you've got no protection there.
Sure.
But I could completely understand how, Will Fleury made such a big deal out of it. And it made me feel at the time when his went on that I probably should have done the same. But I'm one of those types of people. I won't cry about it. I'll take it on the chin, and it is what it is. That's MMA sometimes.
Yeah, sure.
That's the game. I don't have the reach that he has. He's got a coach like John Kavanagh, who's the coach of Conor McGregor. So his voice will travel far or whatever. I'm from a small gym in Blackburn, and we've got a UFC fighter in our gym, and the rest are relatively unknown. So as far as our reach out into sort of the public, I'd have to do that myself, but I chose not to, because obviously it was the first instance of it happening. It happened with me, and then it happened with Will. But that was on a separate occasion, because the first time round it happened with Will. Will was actually the one who was throwing the shot to the back of the head, and nothing got said because he did it to Mike. All right, there were small shots, but still there were small. There were significant enough shots to the back of the head, and nobody made a big deal out of that. It's only when Will took the elbows to the back of the head in his fight, that's when it blew up and became a big deal. So. Mike felt the same way, that he took some shots to the back of the head too. And for me, in my scenario, I was basically fatigued. I was still wrestling. I was in control of the fight because I drove his ass right across to the other side of the cage. We were one apiece at this point, and this could have meant that I could have come out on top and beaten Ibra in this instance. I've got the single leg. I've got him pinned down in the corner, and I'm about to take top control. He pushed on the back of my head to push it down, and then he thumped me right in the back of the head. And the referee was arguing with him at the time. And because of his, I think it's his lack of his poor English, basically, or his lack of understanding, he didn't know what the referee was saying to him. I could clearly hear the referee arguing with him, telling him not to hit me in the back of the head, but he carried on. And the referee asked me if I was okay. I said, yeah, I'm fine. And I'm arguing with the referee not to stop the fight, because I'm looking at the referee at the same time. But as that's happening, Ibra's trapping my right arm whilst I'm arguing with the referee, saying he's hitting me in the back of the head. You can see that, right? And the referee's supposed to stand you up and have a look at you, ask if you're okay, because it's a foul shot.
Sure.
He did the same thing in the second round. He asked him about it. He warned him about it. So if he's warned him about it twice before, he should have deducted a point at least.
Yeah.
Or done something about it, other than just let him carry on. And then I just took too many shots to the back of the head. There must have been at least 10 to 15 shots to the back of my head. And eventually I capitulated underneath him, because I was trapped in a corner taking shots to the back of the head. And there's only so much you can take, especially if since it's been going on through the course of the bout. And I felt obviously disgruntled about it. And, I did mention it, but nothing got said. They basically just put it down as a TKO, so I just basically had to move on. I trained harder, put the guys through an absolute nightmare. And, the guys who trained with me in my team, they know how much potential that I've got and how talented I am. I mean, even Shordine said it live on television, how hardworking and, how talented I am. But I just never got to show it, because, it was just bad timing.
Yeah,
I think
100%, man. 100%.
This year you will get to see the real me, and this is what I wanted to show.
100%, man. And like I said when we started a bit earlier, you were obviously one of the guys who was touted as quite a favorite. The coaches obviously saw something in you, being the first pick. They saw something they liked, and it was, I suppose we didn't get to. I felt like I didn't get to see the true version of yourself, and I hope we get an opportunity soon to see that. What I wanted to ask you, besides all of that, how was your experience in the fight and being in South Africa and under the EFC banner?
It was a great experience. It was a hell of a lot more than what I expected to, if I was to be quite honest with you. I think, to be honest with you, I didn't really know what to expect. I'd watched the Ultimate Fighter series, but watching it and actually taking part in it is two completely different things.
Sure.
So being a part of it, being in the house with those other competitors, you're going to be fighting some of the guys that you live with, and obviously you've got to train and you've got to battle with some of the guys that are on your team, and you've got to prepare them. I quickly became sort of one of the leaders of the team. I'm so happy that Brendan got to the final and he won it, because that means that our team was a better team. Despite what anybody outside of that didn't win it says, Brendan's a deserving winner, and he went all the way and he did it. And nobody gave him from the beginning. Nobody gave him, any credit. And I saw how hard that guy works, and I looked at him and I thought to myself, this guy lives here. He lives in South Africa and he works his ass off. He's not. The thing with my opinion of Brendan was, he works his ass off cardio-wise, and he's good at everything. He's got a good all-round game, but he's not a master of anything. Sure. But in the MMA, you don't really need to be. Sure. You know what I mean? He can do pretty much everything, but it's that cardio. That cardio, he's almost like he's got a black belt in cardio. So if you don't finish him, and you know what I'm saying? Sure. If you don't finish that boy quick, if you don't knock him out, he's going to keep coming forward until you're knackered, and that's how he beats you. Sure. So
black belt in cardio.
Somewhere down the line, I had to match that kind of cardio. What was that, sorry?
No, I like that, black belt in cardio. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, man, I think Brendan was one of those unassuming characters. I think he was written off quite early on, and he managed to come out and put on a good show. I think even in the final, he walked off quite upset. I mean, I don't know why. There was a couple of people that thought for some reason that he hadn't won that fight. I don't know how they felt that. But yeah, he won that fight quite comfortably, and I think he did himself quite some justice being the underdog through that tournament, and it was pretty cool to see. What I wanted to ask you, Jenaid, is you mentioned something a little bit earlier on about the EFC. Obviously, on your website, you guys are all listed as middleweight fighters for the EFC. So can you give us a little bit of detail on what is your actual current status with the EFC at the moment?
My actual current status, I'm basically still waiting on them to confirm a fight for me. I've spoken to Graham, and Graham's basically said that he wants me on possibly in March, maybe the Cape Town card. So, and that'll be at sea level. Sure. So I won't have to deal with altitude when I actually do come out there. So it's not going to be, we will see what he comes up with. Obviously, I'm leaving it in his hands, because basically I was trying to bite his arm off to try and get me a fight to get me out there, because in the last card, people were dropping like flies, and I'm like, yes, bring me on. I don't care what weight, I'll make it or whatever. But I'm definitely coming on as a middleweight. I'm comfortable there, and like I said, I just want to show the African public what I can do. And they haven't seen nothing yet. They haven't seen. I mean, if you want to see what I'm actually capable of, type my name in on YouTube, and you'll see half the stuff that I've done. I mean, it's not all on there, but most of it is. And you'll see what I'm capable of. And I'm known as Mr. Cardio. I'm the guy that just keeps going, and I pull off suplexes, flying knees, you name it. I'm one of the most exciting fighters to come out of the UK. But, I'd say it was a pretty sort of boring fight between me and Ibra, because we've got two counter-strikers, and it does get tricky when we've got counter-strikers going at each other. He doesn't want to engage. I don't want to engage, because I'm reading him, he's reading me. So it turns into a grappling match, and after that, it's all about cardio after that, and if I can catch him or if he can catch me. I mean, I knew I was a better grappler because I had control over him. It was just trying to get him to commit to something. Sure. But I approached it striking-wise in the wrong sort of way. But I did the majority of the wrestling. I had control of him, so I think I've got a hell of a lot more to show than that. And obviously, if you watch my previous fights, you'll see that. And obviously, with this next fight coming up, you'll see that too.
100%. And obviously, is it fair to assume that you wouldn't mind a little crack back at Ibra down the line?
Well, I heard that Ibra's moving down to welterweight,
yes,
so I mean,
correct.
It's probably fitting for him. So like me and Ibra, I've got a lot of respect for that guy. Me and him became pretty good friends, and if push comes to shove, if I had to fight him again, I would, so I could get that back. But like I say, I think he's going down to welterweight, so we'll see what happens. I don't know if he's staying at middleweight. If they make that fight somewhere in the future, then whatever. Yeah, I'll get paid to fight him again. Brilliant.
Yeah. And have you had a good look at the middleweights in the EFC? And is there anyone that stands out in particular that you'd like to have a fight with?
To be honest with you, there's not one person on that roster that I think is capable of beating me. I look at them all. I think there's only, I'd say there's only Drickus it would be a big challenge for me.
Okay.
Everybody else, they're well within reach of me either knocking them out or putting them to sleep.
Okay.
But the way I look at it, I think Drickus is the one that I need to keep my eye on. That's the guy, because I'm going to be searching for ways to beat that guy, because at the minute he looks unstoppable, and I like that sort of unstoppable aura about somebody, because I want to challenge their unstoppable against mine.
Okay. Well, hopefully you can come up the ranks and get your date with Drickus. Jenaid, the last thing I wanted to ask, I remember you did tell me when you were here in South Africa, but maybe some people didn't catch it, the Jabberwocky. Where does that come from, and how does that come about?
Basically, it's an old English tale of it's basically a dragon. Now the story is the claws that catch and the jaws that bite. So once the Jabberwocky gets a hold of you, which generally happens in a cage fight, it's game over for you. And the only thing that can stop it is actually a woman. Because in the story, Alice chops its head off, but that was only in a dream. The Jabberwocky lives and breathes fire over everything. Everybody's afraid of it.
Fantastic, man. Jenaid, thank you so much for your time, man. We really hope to see you back out. Your for one was very keen to see what you have to offer. I felt like at the end of your fight we didn't get to see all of you, and I felt that for a lot of the contestants in the fight, obviously the altitude has come up. It's tough circumstances to be in a new country, different cultures, languages, altitude, and training environment without your team. It's a hell of a shock. And the format of the fight was amazing. And I think it's great for MMA. It's great for finding talent, but there is also the other side, like yourself. We don't always get to see the best side of you guys, and I'm really glad that EFC is staying in contact with you guys. I think you guys were a massively talented bunch of individuals, and I personally can't wait to see someone like yourself back in the EFC. I think the middleweight division was dying for some new blood, and I think we've got a pile of it in you guys that we're contestants there. So we look forward to seeing you back out, your man.
Okay, thank you very much. That's great. Yeah, I can't wait to get out there and show what I can do. I'll show the African public what I'm made of, who I am, what I can really do, and put on some exciting fights and entertain you guys. That's what I'm here to do. That's what I enjoy doing. That's what I wake up every morning and I sweat my balls off for. And we'll see. When I get out there, possibly in March in Cape Town, I'll show you what I can do. So let's make it happen.
100%, man. And thanks very much for your time, Jenaid. And we'll chat to you soon, brother. Take it easy, man.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Thank you, bro.
Cheers,
All
man.
right, take care, man.
We're out.